Hello guys, today is my presentation on algorithm, its characteristics, analysis of algorithm, asymptotic notation. My name is Saurabh Agarwal. I am a computer science engineering student from ADCT Sangli. So we should know about what is algorithm. So a process or a set of rules to be followed in a calculation or other problem solving operation. Therefore, algorithm refer to a set of rule instruction that step by step define how a work is to be executed upon in order to get the expected result. So, in this diagram, we can see that there is an input and algorithm is a set of rule to be obtained executed output and then we get an output. So we can say that algorithm is a finite step or instruction to a problem. To design a algorithm, a better algorithm, there is an property. Many more properties are required. We thought about characteristics of algorithm in further slide. So, need of an algorithm. So of course we should know about what is the need of an algorithm to understand the basic need of problem, to define an approach to solve the problem, to improve the efficiency of existing technique, to understand the basic principle of design algorithm, to compare the performance of algorithm with respect to the other techniques. It is better method of describing without describing the implementation detail. Need of an algorithm, we can say that if we try to solving the problem, we need to understand the basic of the problem and their approach and their efficiency and their basic principles, and then their performance and then their method and best method to implement that problem, and then analysis of an algorithm. The analysis is a process of estimating the efficiency of algorithm. There are two fundamental parameters based on which we analyze our algorithm: space complexity and time complexity. First, we talk about space complexity. The space complexity can be understood as the amount of space required by the algorithm to run an completion. The time complexity is a function or input size that refer to the amount of time needed by the algorithm to complete it. Time complexity of algorithm can be calculated by using two methods: posterior analysis, prior analysis. So, what is the difference between the posterior and prior analysis? If we talk about the prior analysis, the prior analysis run algorithm on a specific system, and posterior analysis analyze the after running and running of an uh, system. So, posterior analysis is a relative analysis. Prior analysis, absolute analysis. It's depend upon the language of compiler and type of hardware. It's independent of the language of compiler and type of hardware. It will execute it accept answer. It will give approximate answer. It doesn't use asymptotic notation to represent the time complexity of an algorithm. It uses asymptotic notation to represent how much time the algorithm will take in order to complete its execution. The time complexity of the algorithm used posterior analysis differ from system to system. Time complexity of algorithm used for prior analysis is same for every system. So we talked about the prior analysis. There is no dependent on the hardware, but in posterior there is a dependency of the hardware. Uh, Prior analysis give approximate time analysis of the time and space analysis complexity. Actual in posterior analysis they give actual time analysis. As we talked about asymptotic notation in further slide, But uh, in posterior, generally industry don't use the posterior analysis. So characteristics of an algorithm. Characteristics of an algorithm contain many set of the properties, that is well-defined inputs, well-defined outputs, fitness, feasibility, language independence, clear and unambiguous. So our algorithm should should be contain these following characteristics. Unambiguous. Algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. Each of its step or phase or their input or output should be clear and must be lead to only one meaning. Means our algorithm should be must be finite and clear, and we should not try to implement unambiguous algorithm. Our algorithm should be unambiguous. In second, input. An algorithm should have zero or well-defined inputs. It means that our algorithm should contain zero or well-defined input. Means if we give the example like print hello world, there is a no input, but we got some output. So without input means that should contain zero or more. Our input can be of zero. And third point, output. An algorithm should have one or more well-defined output should match the desired output. Means that if we thought about our previous example, we printf hello world, then there is a successful one output. At least one output is there. So our algorithm should contain at least one output, and more than it can be fine. Without output, our algorithm should have no use. Witness. An algorithm must terminate after a finite number of steps. It means that if we try to implement the while there is an while one condition, then there is a no ending of that, and then the algorithm never be terminated. So our fitness said that the algorithm must terminate after a finite number of steps. Feasibility should be feasible with the available resources. Independent algorithm should have step-by-step direction, and much should be independent of any program code. Asymptotic notation. So this is a very important term. Asymptotic notation give a main idea of asymptotic notation is to analyze to have a measure of the efficiency of the algorithm. Asymptotic give us the idea about how good our algorithm is compared to the other algorithm. Uh, Time velocity is the amount of time taken by the an algorithm to run. As a function of the length of the input, we measure the time taken to execute the each step code in the algorithm. So in this chart, the big complexity chart. In this, our time complexity is shown, in which uh, order of log n is very less from complexity, order of n, order of n log n, order of n square, and this further goes up to upward side. Asymptotic notation are the mathematical notation used to describe the run time of an algorithm when the input trend toward the particular value or limit value. Bigger notation specify the describe the worst condition. Omega notation specify best case, and theta notation specify average case scenario. So our big notation is used to describe the asymptotic upper bound. Mathematically, if f of n describes the runtime complexity of algorithm, f of n is the order of big O of g of n, uh, if and only if there exists a positive constancy and not such that order of O0 is less than equal to f of n is less than equal to c into g of n for all n is greater than equal to n naught. So Vigo notation gives us the describe as the upper bound limit. So our f of n is if we see in this graph, if our f of n goes upward and then downward. Because if this and not condition is satisfied, then this C into G of n is goes to upper bound. Then this describe that the our algorithm don't go beyond this. This is the upper bound of an algorithm, and here n is an input size. Big omega notation, just like big O notation provided by the asymptotic upper bound, omega notation provide the asymptotic lower bound. This omega notation give us the lower bound. Let f of n define the running time complexity of algorithm. F of n is said to be omega g of n if and only if there exists a positive constancy and not such that 0 is less than equal to c into g of n is less than equal to f of n for all n is greater than equal to n naught. It gives the lower bound of a function. So our big omega uh, is in which f of n is f of n is greater than g of n, as we seen that f of n is greater than equal to g of n. Until this condition arrive, uh, this is very important condition to present the most realistic time complexity of algorithm. If a function is omega n2, it is automatically omega n as well as seeing it satisfy the above condition. Theta notation. This notation describes the both upper and lower bound of a algorithm. For this, we can say that define exactly asymptotic behavior. In the real case scenario, the algorithm must allow run on the best and worst case. The average running time lies between the best and worst case and is represented by theta notation. The function f of n is equal to theta of g of n, it as f is theta of g of n if and only if there exists a positive constant c1 c2 and not such that 0 is less than equal to c2 into g of n is less than equal to f of n is less than equal to c1 of g of n for all n is greater than equal to n naught. So our theta condition is a best case scenario, average case scenario in which we can say that c1 into g of n plus c2 into g of n. This is a middle part of it. That, that's why its can is a both lies between the lower and upper bound. And we can say that the theta is a give us the broader spectrum of an running time complexity. Which one is to use? Big data provide a better picture of an algorithm runtime, which is why the most interviewer expected you to answer in terms of big data when they ask in order of question. And what you provide as the answer is big data is already a big O and big omega it recommended in this region. So that's why we say that big data is give us the broad spectrum of a running time algorithm. So here an example of what we say. If we look at that example of the linear search in which we seen the complexity of it. A linear search scan the item at a time without jumping to another item. Linear search it means that we scan the item in linear way. So if we try to get the best case scenario, that is omega of 1. If we look at that, if we find the a which is at x0, then it will give the best case scenario. And we thought about omega is our best case scenario, so order of 1. If we try to find the j which is index 9, then it will give the average case scenario, and in this average case scenario, that is theta is n by 2, which means uh, which means theta of n, and we neglect the term n by 2, then it will give theta of n. And worst case scenario means if we try to find the x which is at class index 23, then we will get the big O of n, which is order of n. That's all to my lecture. Thank you.